home. I should not be teaching you how to fold clothes in second period.
Right.
That's not no.
Oh,
I have to. Hey, what's up?
Call here.
Hello and welcome. Nate, and we're here live right now at Theater Projects for a Real Nigga Show. And we are preparing. I'm preparing for our preview night. If that's what it is. COVID has shut down a lot of shut down theaters as it pertains to, and we're just starting to do soft openings. So we'll have a limited audience tonight, a very limited audience tonight, and then tomorrow we'll go into um, a full live stream of the production where you can be at home and watch production as you would watch Netflix or Hulu or one of those streaming networks. So we'll be streaming live. You can go to Eventbrite at a Real Nigga Show and purchase the tickets. They're $18, and you'll be sent out a link. I think 2 hours, and then 10 minutes before the show, where you can log on and be able to do it. You'll be able to log on between 6:30 and 7, and then at 7 o'clock the show will start. I think at 6:55 the show will technically start, and we'll be on it. But this is an unfortunate show. I don't know if um, Curtis will be joining us as of yet. I haven't heard from him, so hopefully he'll log on while I'm talking. But it's kind of a bittersweet moment. It's always hard when you lose someone, but specifically when you lose a younger person, it's very difficult. And I want to say it was Wednesday. A friend of mine, Martique, um, passed away, and Martique wasn't even 30 yet, so it's very unfortunate. And I've watched him grow from a really young teenager to a grown man, married with a family, and it really is unfortunate that I have to say this, but it is, death is, inevitable. It's something that we're all promised. And as I get older, I'm getting more and more comfortable with the idea and the notion that we all have that day, that time, that hour, that moment that we don't know, and accepting death and life uh, is hard for some people. I don't think it doesn't hurt as much. Um, and it's not because I'm so used to death, but um, death is inevitable. Like I said, it's a promise. But just remembering Martique is this pauses me, and I've been really quiet the last couple of days and not really as active. Um, and this pandemic has given me a sense of just stillness and just quiet in the midst of storms. We watching all these clips online of people being shot and killed and protests and um, people losing their lives to COVID-19, and just a lot of confusion and misinformation. And, our political system seems like it's all just in a mosh pit at this point. Um, so going through this is I am approaching, I guess, my morning in this moment a lot differently than I would in different circumstances. I didn't want to be hype, like overly upset or um, uh, heartbroken over this as I would been before, because his life was so much more. He always had a lot of energy. He was always a very positive person. Um, and he was very serious about his craft. So it really, uh, it feels uncomfortable to mourn in this moment. It's sad. It was definitely a shock and a surprise. And we were in the midst of rehearsing, uh, uh, in rehearsal when we all found out. And he is a dear friend and little brother to many of us. He has two children and a wife that he left behind. And it's just, it's crazy. You almost don't want to be um, quiet about it uh, because it seems so unfair that someone so young. But I'm, looking for the message. I'm always trying to find the message in in the things that we're going through right now, and it's really um, I'm at loss of words. Even me explaining it right now, I feel like I'm all over the place and talking about friends over the course of the last 2 days, and it's been difficult too because well, the moment that we're in right now, everybody doesn't feel as comfortable being around each other and being in each other's presence. So it feels a little different mourning now, but ultimately because of the person he was, I don't think it's going to be a sad situation because he was so energetic and really one of those people that we, it's cliche to say, but loved by all. And really, it just leaves me at awe. And facing all the things that we're going through right now, it's just not worth it. I posted a thread on social media and just saying, basically saying just give people their flowers while you still have the moments with them, while you can still experience time with them, while you still can touch them and talk to them and be in their presence. Um, and this pandemic that we're in right now doesn't make that easier because we've all been keeping our distance. But call people more, even if it's somebody that, you had a falling out with, or you've had an argument with, or whatever that may be, you know, find the words to either give, like forgive, which can be devastatingly hard and difficult for many of us. I know personally, it does hurt when someone has done something to you to welcome them. But um, I was just on another person's post that was very angry at the mother, once again, the family member who decided to forgive the officer who shot the young man in his back. And she chose to forgive. And my argument in that thread was sorry. My argument on that thread was, forgiveness is very little about the other person who has done the hurting or harm, and is more for the person who has been harmed to be able to move forward. Often, we walk around with these hard hearts and these personalities because we haven't let go of things. And that's one of the things in the last 2 years that I vowed to um, do more of, and it's forgive and let go and be at peace. Even if we can't pick up where we left off or start over, because forgiveness doesn't mean that I forgot, and forgiveness doesn't mean that I can now trust you or be in your presence or allow you in my space. What often forgiveness is, it is something that we have to do for ourselves. So we are not walking around on our shoulders, and then that cycle of hurt people hurting other people, and it's just going to become a cycle. So you're going to unleash that anger and frustration and hurt on someone else, and it's not really intended for them, or you're giving them the bits and pieces that you wasn't able to let go any other time. Um, so it definitely is. It's that moment, and I think we all should begin to practice that art of forgiveness slash letting go. And you have to uh, do those things together. You cannot forgive and not let go. You can't let go and not forgive, because it won't go anywhere to stay attached to you. And I guess that's, kind of something I've been meditating over. Not that myself and Martique had any bad blood. We actually had an awesome conversation just last week. I last spoke to him, and it was our normal conversation, debating and, weird conversation that ended in debates and such. Um, but in moments like this, we have to find the lesson and combine in the lesson, um, because I don't like being overly upset, whether it be in any um, emotion. I don't like to be overly. I think it's a waste of energy sometimes. Um, and I'm not doubting anybody else's process, but for me, um, I've just learned how to be calm. It's easy for me to go off or pop off, if you will, but I'm just learning how to just practice my space time and be able to deal with life as it comes, so I'm not having this, roadblock as I move forward. Um, a lot of us are getting into heated arguments and debates via politics, via social justice issues like Black Lives Mattering. And to kind of segue a little bit into that, me and uh, Curtis had some conversations about certain entities and certain ideas, rather, um, related to Black Lives Mattering. And we kind of have a difference of opinion on some of those issues. And I actually met a couple people over the last week who also feel that way. And it's amazing to me that when we say Black Lives Matter, the opposition always feels that we are excluding other people's lives mattering. And I think it's a strange thing that we individuals do, um, and it's in no way, shape, or form, from my perspective, does the argument of Black Lives Mattering diminish any other culture or race of people, because ultimately we're one race, we're a human race. Let's get that cliche out there. But I think we fall into the trap of not respecting someone's personal struggle because we don't feel included in that struggle. It's a thing of, if I tell you I'm hurting, you say, "Well, I'm hurting too." And that's fine. But in this moment, we were having a conversation about the things that I was feeling. And right now, the idea of Black Lives Mattering is the conversation at hand. And I think, um, I guess I'm specifically talking to those Black people who are siding with the All Lives Matter argument, that's being, included in rebuttal to Black Lives Mattering. Um, and every time this argument spikes, it's on the back of yet another person being killed at the hands of a police officer. And I understand that there's black on black crime, just like there's white on white crime, and there's crime in general. But there's a problem that we're having right now, and nobody is willing to address it. And as a black man, I am very uncomfortable being in a world where I can't express my hurt over the treatment of people who look like me, of myself, without the rebuttal of, well, all lives matter. Well, that's goes without saying, but in this moment, we're having a conversation about my life in the lives of people who look like me not mattering to the powers that be, to the world at large, because this idea of black discrimination is not a United States problem. It's a worldwide problem, and we've seen it in many of the uprisings across the world. People are not just siding with the United States black African Americans, but they are resisting to what is currently happening to them in their country, in their part of the world. And it's happening everywhere. And it just upsets me that people that look like us can't find the argument to say, uh, or can't side in this moment. And it's not even about taking sides. It's more so respecting that this thing right here is happening. Yeah, there's other things that are happening that may be similar or just as bad or worse. But right now, the conversation is here. Um, and the whole lives of blue lives mattering, it goes without saying. But if they're not effectively doing their job well, I just don't see it mattering. Um, Other pressing issues right now that seem to be other pressing issues that I'm finding right now. Conversation that I had with a young lady. Um, well, this young lady who I don't know if she currently works for the organization, but she was having a conversation about us fitting in at the table. And I felt compelled to respond to her argument, because we have this thing of always wanting to fit in, always wanting to be a part of, um, the others, and their resources and their system, when the system doesn't necessarily want us to be involved. And I know I'm kind of jumping over, but it's kind of blending into us again. And it's unfortunate that we're in a space where we always want to be a part of someone else's system. And it's more so us black people always wanting to, and more specific, I'm gonna be very specific, as artists, especially in a city like Baltimore, we have a thing where we always want to be um, counted or a part of the successful branch of the arts, or whatever that may be, whether it be being with a specific organization, or being a part of a project or certain arts organization, company, so have you. And I have a problem with that. One, because my experience recently, and just over the course of me being a working artist, I've found that we are only necessary when the grant requires that you have a certain level of diversity or specific type of individual or type of project or type of content. And it really, it is uncomfortable to be in a space where we are made to feel that we have to be a part of the white organization to make it. And I think if we pooled a lot of our resources, and the young lady, uh, she made a valid point, but she made a point as because she's a person who gets to sit at these tables, and but because of the decisions that are being made at the table, she's still affected by it. And I just want us to figure out a way where we can collectively create our own systems, where we're not a slave to the way other organizations do things. Like here in Baltimore, there are a number of organizations that kind of are the gatekeepers to resources, to opportunities, to project-based success. And it's unfortunate that we are just held held to it. And I'm personally um, trying to figure out ways to not just do things on my own, but to find individuals that are like minded, that look like me, that come from where I come from, that can create and make opportunities and give opportunities and succeed. I've been trying hard to build the Artist Exchange as a platform where it's not just another organization or another artist trying to be creative to try to create, but an organization where we're giving opportunities to individuals. I work very hard to create opportunities for other people, and it feels like we don't trust each other, and it's really greed and ego and greed and ego and I can't really explain it, but we are not good at working with each other. And uninteresting enough, a couple months ago, I had a conversation with myself and Troy Burton and DDM, and he made a comment. He said, often we in romantic relationships and business relationships and platonic relationships, we often gravitate towards other cultures because we don't want to deal with the stuff that we had in others. So the drama of getting along or baggage, or we would rather deal with that from others because we in our mind, other people don't deal with the stuff that black people have to go through. So we often lean on other races, other cultures of people to succeed in our pursuits, our business, our art, our work. And it's very unfortunate that we feel that way because we are not allowing ourselves to really grow with each other, to really succeed with each other, be in a space where we can grow and not be dependent on other people to um, and not be dependent on other people to succeed. Um, and this is all coming full circle because these are many of the conversations that I've had with my friend Martique, and and us being black men and wanting to succeed in a world we're not good enough, or we have to fit a specific uh, shape or size or complexion or demeanor or attitude or level of masculinity. Like we're always being told that we have to conform to this one thing to be accepted by others. And we are fueling that fire from within our culture by telling ourselves that we're not good enough, telling each other. I purposely, as an artist, decided to go to a university, a college that looked like me, sounded like me, had representation that looked like me. And me being in that school, I had the same people who were being paid to nurture my potential dissecting me and others and telling us that we're not good. But in many parts, it was them preparing us for what the world was going to do with us. But for me, it was backwards thinking because if if that is what we have to deal with in general, why not then teach us how to build our own? Why not teach us how to develop our own system of doing things in terms of being an artist? Why do I have to? Why does the pinnacle of my success have to be Broadway? Why can't it be another black led group of theaters that I can perform? Why does having an equity card mean, my success? Talk about that. It's been in the news and many topics of the whole ranking system with the award system. Many of those organizations, if not all of them, are white led. And why does having a Tony or Oscar or Grammy mean my success over a BET award or an NAACP Image Award, so on and so forth. And it really it speaks to how we look at um, our own products, our own um, things, and it just really I don't know. I wanna start the conversation on how we can build with each other. Every time I create a project for myself, I always find at least one or two, if not more, of my friends, my artist friends, to partner with to bring in on the project. And not because I fear doing th- doing things by myself, but when we have these opportunities, like Marnie could have left Big exposed in his home with just him. He didn't have to open it up for other shows or other people to be able to come on this platform and build their shows or build a brand or, you know, that trickles down to an invite to stuff. But what benefit would have really been to just been him? Not to say that he's not enough, but what benefit would have been for it to just be him? Um, it's been a struggle for me in these last 5 months and me thinking selfishly. It's been a real struggle because I want to um, work. I naturally, I'm a theater artist, so theater artists are ensemble based artists, meaning we thrive off of a team of people. You know, in a theater, you need a stage manager, you need a stage crew, you need all of these elements that make up um, a production. You need actors, you need a lighting, a sound, a tech person. You know, you need makeup, you need costumes, you need all those elements that make up a system of that we call theater. So it's hard for me to then create in a space where it's just me, where it's this narrow scope of vision, but more so figuring out a way to then create for all of us. It's very hard for me to think of an idea that doesn't include somebody that I know that could benefit. So I guess the question will then be, how do we then begin to build those bridges with each other? And I think it starts with trust. I think many of us don't trust each other, and it's been based off our experiences. It's been based off of um, um, self hatred. You know, it is unfortunate. And me and Curtis have this conversation a lot where um, we talk a lot about um, he wants to focus on getting us healthy in terms of what we eat. And I keep telling him, before you can deal with how someone eats, you have to think about their mental health, their physical health, their financial health. Because if I don't have the money to eat healthy, I can't think about eating healthy. If I am tied into a system of whenever something bad happens, I eat. Whenever something good happens, I eat. Whenever there's a birthday or wedding or celebration, we eat. If that's in my mindset, then it doesn't matter how much money I had. It really doesn't. So figuring out our mental health first and attaching that to, because our bad habits are with how we think, what we've been taught, things that we can't really touch. So it's a mental thing. Um, it really just depends on the individual, but I think we need to. A lot of our issues will be solved once we get to a softer space in terms of how we think, and then we can worry about money health, and then we can worry about our, uh, I guess, our healthy, you know, eating health and such and such. Um, I know today this just feels different. Um, Thinking about, the last couple of days, I've been thinking a lot about life and how it pertains to the things I want to do, my goals, the aspirations that I have. And it's just difficult having to think about those things in the midst of pandemic where things are uncertain. We don't really know what the next couple months are going to be, let alone what the next year is going to be. We're in the midst of election season, so we don't know, you know, people want this to happen and people want this to happen, and none of it makes sense together. Um, we're in a health crisis. You know, uh, a lot of people indoors for the last month, and we don't know how that's been affecting certain people mentally and physically. Um, and me, I've been, now that it's safer, not safe, but safer to go to the doctor's office. Been doing a lot of, like, I went to get a vision test today and went to the dentist beginning of the week, and my physical last week. So me trying to figure out those things, so keep those things in line, but still focus on like my mental health, my spiritual health, and making sure all those things are aligned in a space where where I'm getting everything that I need, and just planning more. Um, this project that we're working on now, you see the banner behind me, it's really put a lot of things as a Black man into perspective. So mental health is really important to me. It's something that I've tried for a long time to, um, I guess, focus on or make my priority. I don't think enough of us make that a priority, because we got to work, we got to pay bills, we got to, go on vacation, we got to kid X, Y, Z, we always put other things before our mental health. And then when things happen, when a breakdown happens, we're forced to deal with it. Everything else crumbles because we haven't made a balance in life or in our space to um, deal with deal with it. So I guess a question that I may have, um, and please comment in the comment section. Um, in the last 30 days, what have you done for your mental health? Um, outside of a therapist, do you meditate? Do you journal? Do you have healthy conversations with loved ones, families, a partner? Um, how do you deal with stress? Um, how has this pandemic been on your mental health? And I know that's a lot of questions at once, but um, it's things that I've been thinking about. I was given a journal. Well, going backwards a little bit. So part of what I decided to do was to journal, and to journal and to write a book. The book has been about 3 years wanting to do something, but um, I guess being afraid to expose me. Um, so it was going to be something fictional. It started out being a book about just my experiences, and then that turned into me being uncomfortable and me wanting to um, write a book about just stories I have, or uh, trying to figure out what um, those things that I wanted to put into the book. So it took me a minute to think about how to approach topics or subject matter, or what to add, what not to add, what's too personal, what shouldn't be shared, what I didn't feel comfortable sharing. Because many of those stories involve loved ones or friends or family members, and just figuring out how to create a story based on that, um, and how to house that into a book that is how to house that into a book. And I'm really comfortable at this point. I'm with a really great editor, and shout out to another friend of mine who have come up with a really cool concept, and helping me to um, deal with um, deal with writing. Um, well, I think I froze a little bit, but so we'll be working on that, and I'll be giving some information as the journey as this process goes on, rather. And it's a cool concept for me because it's something that I've never done before. Writing a book is something I've never done before, but writing is something that I haven't always felt as comfortable with. Um, but I definitely wanted to try it. I wanted to figure out a way to incorporate some of the life lessons that I've been given and learning and growing with. So, with that being said, this has just been um, it's an interesting process. This last week has been interesting. We're in month number 5, going into month number 6 now. Um, yeah, it's been an interesting journey. I guess Curtis isn't going to be joining me today. So, just a little bit about my focus um, with the Artist Exchange. I never intended for this to be kind of my personal reality show, but more and more the lessons that I've been gathering over the time that I've been with Be Exposed has definitely turned into somewhat of a reality show, and that I'm able to go through things, experience things, feel things, and um, be able to share that with an audience and guests. Um, so I've been thinking about in terms of what moving forward looks like, because this seems like this will be our way of transmitting um, the show or doing the show for the time being. And I want to make it more, not so much Iyanla fix my life, but really beneficial to artists, not just in the area of marketing and branding, but also creating a platform where it then becomes a platform for people to create and partner and work. And that's been kind of the theme uh, all along. Just on how to do that and really be impactful for it. In a moment right now where I feel like I don't really want to be a part of the white art scene, and I want to, figure out ways to create as a Black artist, um, as a man, and as a male creator, and figuring out how to do that with the resources that I have versus trying to be a part of this white organization to get their resources and notoriety and all those things, but reimagining what it looks like for the Artist Exchange. Um, and I have some ideas. The book is kind of um, one part of it. Me branching out in spaces that I would not normally branch out. Different types of interviews, like you saw a lot of the interviews we did for a Real Nigga Show, and really going beyond what the surface of the content is, and really digging a little bit deeper into that. Um, um, yes, if you have not already done so, please go to Eventbrite um, at a Real Nigga Show. Purchase your tickets. It'll be like again, you'll be able to log in between six
Don't
thirty
be sending me
and
messages like
six.
that.
No, really, like I'm not a. That's Monty, by the way, because people don't can't see him, and his voice just appears out of nowhere. But I am in my mind, and I'm an overthinker anyway. But this is just weird because somebody who was just here a few moments ago not being here,
Hmm.
it just made me reach out to people who I don't generally not so much think about, but in your day to day life, you come, your friends, your family, the people you work with, you come in contact with them, but it's not, hey, I got a planned time. And now this pandemic has made it easier for introverts to do that less, even
Hmm.
less than what we had to do before.
Hmm.
So I'm just trying to figure out how to gauge my emotions in this moment because I don't feel like just busting out into tears, but just really being honest about how this feels because I'm in the midst of a show that is drawing personal experiences, but hmm, I think about his children, and I'm speaking about Martique again, but I'm just thinking about his children. I was trying to talk through this, and
Hmm.
it's not authentic to me. It's not. I can't ignore like the elephant in the room at the moment, so to speak. But it's really it's crazy because we're in the midst of
Hmm.
all of this going on, and life has not stopped. Life continues to move on, and it's just an unreal thought to know that somebody so young
Hmm.
is not here anymore. And I'm not like can't like deal, but I can't deal at the same time. It's weird to think because I don't deal with emotions in this way, and it's forcing me to deal with emotions in a way that I'm not used to
Used to.
dealing with them. Um, the show must go on, work must still go on, but we got to learn to just take time to feel. We've grown into this microwave community where everything is just moving and it's so fast and there's no time to reflect, there's no time to deal with um, life, and we just move from one situation, often one bad situation, to the next bad situation, and we just deal with it. um, and I think Black people need to stop that. We need to allow ourselves to be in a space where we don't have control and not feel uncomfortable about that. Like I like to be in control of my space.
Hmm.
And if I don't feel like I have control, that's uncomfortable. And that's weird because I'm always telling other people to find comfort in the discomfort, but to apply that to your own life makes it harder and difficult. So I think I'm going to end the show at this moment. And I'll be coming back on Monday. I'll probably be a little bit better because I'll have a young lady with me who was also of his, Martique's, and we'll be talking a lot about what she's doing, what she's doing in life. Miss Tierra Strickland, she'll be joining us on Monday. But this is just weird. It is. I feel things. A lot of people don't think I feel, but I feel things. But it's just weird because Black men, we're always being told we have to fit ourselves into this box of um, I don't even know what it is, but the box is so small, and we have limited reactions that we're allowed to have, or feel that we're allowed to have. So you know, even me, the artist, Nate. I know I don't fit a lot of those stereotypes, but even for me, I feel like I've been put into a box of me wanting to make other people feel comfortable. So I kind of shrink a little bit to make that possible. And in this moment, um, it's hard to do that because his character, Martin's character, wasn't a person who kind of restricted himself. He allowed himself to do the things that people didn't think he would do, but just by the surface of who he was. So I think I'm gonna just take the weekend and finish this production and deal with some things, and I don't know, come back Monday with a different energy. Um, and I think right now, just because there's a lack of information um, surrounding all of this, and we just were given the thing that happened, with very little like what's happening and what's going on, and so it just feels like what are we supposed to be doing? But I don't normally, I never just like halted a show before. I normally like push through, even if I wasn't feeling well. Days I don't feel in the same way. I feel like, you said what? You said what, Monty?
My mic was totally off, so I never said a word.
I heard something, so I'm not
It
crazy.
wasn't me.
But yeah, I've never I've never wanted to leave a show before. I feel weird.
Hmm.
I have a whole like syllabus of things that we were supposed to talk about today. I don't know what happened to Curtis, but I was prepared despite, but
What was one of the
I don't know.
things?
Um, I guess just hmm, I mean the whole purpose of today was to really go over some of the political
Hmm.
stuff, and I'm just drained from that. I've never been more
Yeah, I took the whole
drained.
week off from politics.
Yeah, like it just it's too much because there's too many things attached to it, and
Hmm.
I'm feeling more embarrassed about being an American than anything. Election times is normally a time where we're normally energized and but it's not.
You know what I
I'm
can say that
I'm
I'm
still
upset
stuck.
about right
Go
now.
ahead.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was kind of for it, but then I'm kind of upset that they still went through with this today, the march, in light of
This
170,000
the
people
last
dead.
day.
Huh?
This the last day for the RNC, right?
No, that was yesterday. It's over.
Mm.
But no, I'm talking about the MLK march today, the 20th
Yeah, because
anniversary.
I figured that they was the last day for it, so
Hmm.
I thought that's just why they was doing it.
No, no, they, I don't know. I just wish they wouldn't have.
I don't think
They
it's
keep
going to
giving people
solve anything right
ammunition.
now.
They keep giving the ammunition for us to talk about us in the light that we don't care about the virus either. And that's not even the
There's a lot
case
of people that don't believe it's real though.
until
There's a
your
lot of
family member
people,
dies. And that's the sad part.
right?
Or
Or
until
until you
you
die.
die or you're dying and then we don't care about
Uh,
you dying. And then the cycle continues. We have
hmm
all, and then the statistics that you die the most,
yeah.
but you still piled up in DC thousands and
There's
thousands
a
of
lot of
people.
people who have just let it go as if it was like another pop culture story.
Hmm.
Like that's
I understand because I understand. That's why I said I understand it in one light and I understand it in the other light. The other light meaning the COVID is still out there. And then the other light meaning that I know we're struggling right now as Black people,
hmm
and that we need to have our voices heard. I just don't know if the risk is worth the method.
yeah. It's not really. It's really not. It's very unfortunate that we're at this space in the midst
Hmm.
of a pandemic, and I don't know how this all added up. Where it's a pandemic and a election season at the same time. It's
Hmm.
just weird, and it just feel like we're not. I've literally had a conversation with someone last night, and he doesn't believe that this is real. Like us being in quarantine was a joke, and we were being brainwashed, and we're blurring the lines of reality and just BS, and everything is starting to be like overlapping and the same, and it's hard to know what to believe or who to trust because information is coming out from this person, and he took the power away from the CDC, and this doctor who was supposed to be the foremost, he replaced that with a person who was a nurse. Like it, I can't believe that this is where we are in our country. It just is weird, and I contribute to this feeling of because it's not even the pandemic. This that's naturally who I am. I love being by myself, but all this other stuff that's surrounding it. It's just weird to me. Really, I'm still not over how they're mistreating um Kamala. Like she's been resort designated to being just a whore who slept her way up to the top. I can't imagine them
But
talking
you
about
know,
Hillary Clinton that way. I couldn't imagine that happening.
what I don't get is 'cause I've never heard that before, right? But she slept her way to the top. So slept her way to the top for who? All her voters? Like, how do you sleep your way to the top?
Well, because a
Because
lot
you're an
of
elected
the men
official
that
as the district attorney, you're an elected official as the state's attorney, you're an elected official as a U.S. attorney, and then you're an
Mhm.
elected official as a representative, as a senator. So I would
Right.
have to sleep with thousands upon thousands of people to sleep my way to the top. You see,
And that's and
that don't
it's
even make sense
not
as an
it's I
argument.
see seeds being planted by the others, but it's us that's carrying the
Yeah,
conversation,
and it's
making it about
interesting
us.
if it's people that actually do sleep around that's having this conversation.
Hmm. Hmm.
This
Hmm.
lady's married with no kids. She has none besides her
Right.
stepkids. And
Mhm.
she's the target of this?
Yeah, and
When the people
the
that's talking about this
first of
got
all,
five kids
I,
and four different baby fathers.
but they speak about her as if she's some 30-year-old woman on the rise, sleeping her way to the top, some Sex and the City woman,
And she's not
and
30. She's in her 50s. Like, give it up.
right,
At this
right,
point,
and
it's over. She
they
lived
keep
her
making
life.
mention, they keep making mention to the men that she date being so much older than she is,
But there is
and
no more.
maybe that's just her
The
type.
problem with that synopsis is that you're talking about her past, and today she's married. So that's
Hmm.
over. So what are you saying? Why are you talking about her past? Her past it doesn't imply anything about what she's trying to do today.
It's just a
Just like
level.
the crime
Everybody,
bill. Just to go back to the
right?
crime bill with Biden, that past stuff does not influence what happens today. And that past stuff is also something that we wanted back in the 90s.
Because we were
So
afraid to
to
leave out the house sometimes. Like,
exactly, we knew how the drug epidemic, the pain epidemic, because that was the epidemic itself, was
right.
in our communities. Crackheads on every corner, crackheads buying from on every corner, and then you can't forget about the dealers also being black
Right.
that are affecting your community in the negative. You wanted them locked up. I know I did, and I do.
I mean,
Sometimes I still do today.
in our neighborhood, it was affecting our neighborhood.
Right, and those were
You
your
know the
parents
crack
at that
baby
time.
epidemic, and it's a very real thing
But
because
he takes the
my mother
guff because he's a white
said,
man that locked up a whole bunch of black people. He takes that in stride. Where I don't believe he should have, because it was so many of us that actually prop that bill up to be passed, or it wouldn't have never been
but it,
passed.
but we're defending, but it feels like again we're defending individuals. Yes, they're black. Yes, they're male, mostly that sold drugs. That got the brunt of the punishment for it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, for me, my mother has been a foster parent since I was young. So we got plenty of the crack babies.
Mm-hmm.
And they to be in the midst of someone who was born addicted to drugs, a baby, it is devastating. It is devastating to watch them grow and they have emotions that come from nowhere other than being born addicted to drugs. Like that's a real thing. And I don't we defend criminal behavior so much because many of us benefited. I can say that. I had an uncle that was a kingpin, so I know what that lifestyle entails. We didn't want for anything, so I know what that feels like. But it's weird to watch and listen to people defend that. It's just, now I understand a little bit more about the black on black violence. We can't cry about police officers beating us up if we're not willing to deal with our own killing us. And that's not me then jumping sides, and I'm not a Blue Lives Matter person at all. But the reality is we cannot continue to defend behavior that does not like totally uplift us and such. So it's just weird to me that we defend and bash someone like Kamala, somebody like our state's attorney here, Mosby. We bash them, and it's so, but it's still different how we bash
Mm-hmm.
black women. It's horrendous. It's heartbreaking. It really is. It just breaks my heart because if you don't agree with her politics, that's one thing, but it's just weird. We didn't. I mean, Hillary got a lot. She got a lot on her, but nobody brought up her sexual activity. Nobody brought up, her inability or the stuff that you hear. Like people are really calling her a whore. Like, and there's no information that could even come close to defining her as a whore. I hate how elections have run. I keep saying the elections have become more about running the race than the responsibility of that position.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people are going to get distracted, and a lot more of those same people are going to get voted right back into office because we're focused on Trump. And he did this. He knows what he's doing. He's great at marketing. And I fear another 4 years of him.
That would be
And
the
unfortunately,
saddest
we have a lot
thing
of
in the
people that
world.
are not going to vote or who are going to vote for a person we don't even know their last name. They just go vote to be voting.
Mm.
But this is crazy. So, am I right in thinking that they are getting rid of the electoral college, or is that
No,
a myth?
that's a myth. It's still under examination, but it hasn't been
May not even affect this election, though.
right. You think it's definitely not while he in office. That's how he won last time by the electoral college. You need to definitely not going to sign no law, no nothing into law that's going to prevent him from winning. Because
I
he's not
just
going to
feel
win the popular vote this time. Even if he wins, he's not going to win it by popularity.
he will become president. I can't even speak that into
It's
existence.
a
I
de
can't.
facto win. A de facto win.
But it's many people saying. I mean, and these individuals, I'm listening to them because those are going to be the people who determine the win.
Hmm.
But they feel like this man has done something great for us in these last 4 years,
And it's
and I
so
don't
funny.
see it.
He keeps saying that too. That he's done the most for Black people since Abraham Lincoln. And then the only thing he says is that he signed the bill for HBCU. But you forget you didn't write that bill.
Right.
You didn't
And
write
what
that. You did not do that for us.
and you wrote a bill for HBCU in the midst of a pandemic
That
that
we can't even go to
canceled
school
some of the
on.
things. Right, they're closing down the schools. So are you going to save the schools? Did you get a letter from the White House
I wish I would.
about the stimulus package?
About
I'm
what?
trying to, about the stimulus package.
No.
I got a letter in the mail, and I probably gonna have to read it on Monday. I think I left it home, but it was a letter from. It said White House at the top,
Hmm.
and it was basically, I guess, it was basically blaming the Democrats for. It may have been a fake letter.
Oh no, I need to see that letter.
Blame,
I need you to take a picture of that letter and
blame.
send it to me.
You said what?
I need
Yeah,
you to take a picture of that letter and send it to me.
and
Because he didn't use. So you
it's
trying to tell me he used White
the
House
mail.
stationery to send a letter to you?
Because it looked very. I mean, it looked legit because it confirmed that my taxes have been filed for last year,
And why would
and
that? But yeah, that would be a very bad mistake if you got a letter from the White
I'm a,
House about your
yeah,
taxes.
I'm a, because it said your stimulus, the first line was like your stimulus package is here. And I was like, no, your stimulus package has arrived.
Did you
Um,
get a stimulus payment?
yeah, I did. I got,
Oh,
but I did mine late, so I got mine a lot later
okay. Then
than
maybe that's why
everybody
you
else.
got it.
Like I just got mine.
But still, it should have came from the White House. That the letter would have should have came from the Treasury.
Yeah, but at the top, and I, I meant to bring it today. I was rushing, but I'm gonna take a picture of it and send it to you
Mm.
because you might be about to get yours too.
Yeah, as I filed my lawsuit
But I
for
just
them looking at my
remember at
personal
the
records.
top of the letter, it wasn't even. But you know what? It wasn't even uh letter size. Like the paper wasn't even like a legal letter
It's like a
size.
postcard.
But I just remember, no, it
I
was
mean,
a
like
piece of paper,
a
but it
note
wasn't.
card.
Yeah, yeah. But it was like a small notepad size.
Oh gosh.
And I just remember at the top of the paper, it had like the information on the side, but it said White House
Mm.
from the White House. And I was like, this is weird. But when I get home tonight, that's gonna be the first thing I do is send that to you. Um, I'm gonna send that to you
Hmm. I want to see that.
because that was so weird to me because I thought it was the second stimulus check cover,
No, that didn't get
but it
approved.
was not that at all. I was so upset, so upset.
I told
'Cause that
you,
came, but
don't
it
hold your breath
didn't.
for
But
one.
see, it didn't even take that. It took mine once I did my taxes. It literally it took a month. It was like within that month. Well,
Hmm.
at the end of that month, that following month, that I got mine. But people were saying it was like months, and they was waiting weeks and weeks and weeks for it.
Hmm.
I guess because I did it after everybody, it didn't take that long. And mine was a paper check.
Did you file your taxes first and then got that letter?
Yeah, I just got the letter this week.
Maybe that's why. Yeah, I can't.
Uh-huh.
But you had already got a stimulus, so I don't know why you would got a letter too.
No, but it said your stimulus package has arrived.
Oh,
But again, it
maybe it was just
wasn't from the
confirmation that you had
treasury
already
office. It
got it.
looked like it would have been.
Maybe it was just confirmation that you had already got it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
send it to you because it wasn't anything personal. It didn't. It wasn't even. It was like it seemed like a stock message. It
Hmm.
didn't even seem like a message for me.
Right.
Like it seemed like they sent the same letter to everybody and just
Yeah.
put my name on it, and that was it. But yeah, but
Hmm.
yeah,
Well,
it sounds.
all I can say is just just to everybody in your audience, make sure y'all if you're in Maryland that you have to sign up to get your mail-in ballot. They're not just going to automatically send them to you. I said this once before, but yeah,
But we have to go to that
you
website.
have to go to motor vehicles website and sign up for a mail-in ballot.
Okay. Will it?
Will it what?
So this is just a regular mail-in ballot, or we have to drop it off? Because I
Well,
never did early
they're going to
voting
send them
before.
out
Because
30
this
to
is early
45
voting.
days before election day. So you should get them probably late September, beginning of October for you to put them in the mail.
Mm. I mean, you're right. But this has been an unfortunate. I'm not gonna say unfortunate,
Mhm.
but this being in my bag, so to speak. Um, I'm gonna come back Monday a lot different. I didn't deal with it, and I thought today was going to be different. I think because things didn't happen or line up. But I'm gonna be back. Next up is Cocktail Social. They got some salaciousness that's about to happen on that show tonight, and it is what it is. Radio. They come in tonight, right? Um, So if
Yes.
you are looking for a space to be able to do your show, a space that you have you already and you're looking for a new home, we are Be Exposed Radio. You can email us at info@beexposedradio.com. In the subject line, just say, I want a show, and we'll get back to you at our earliest convenience. Don't forget, every Monday and Friday, tune into the Artist Exchange Radio Show at 5 p.m. sharp. Unless Monty got a date or something, then it might be 5:05 or something. Yeah, I am good. I just need a moment just to get myself together and just deal with it. Death is not for human consumption, but unfortunately, we're all going to have to drink from that cup at some point, um, and hopefully later than sooner. But yeah, again, this has been the Artist Exchange Radio Show. I'm gonna share this out as much as I can after the show. I didn't get a chance to share it out as much. So if you're watching this show after the fact, please continue to share, like, subscribe, all those things to Big Exposure's um, YouTube page. We're at over 1,000 subscriptions right now, so we just need to rev up our time, and then you can get money done and such. So definitely stay tuned, stay locked in. Again, up next at 7 o'clock, you'll hear from Cocktail Social, and then at 9, you'll hear from It Is What It Is Radio Show. And this has been the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com. So let's get off before Easy gets us shut down. Peace out.